Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we want to talk about FSD 14.3.5 and our most recent road trip with over 400 miles on the new software and what's in the software update and how it performs. So we did get FSD 14.3.5 as a part of the release 2026.20.6.6, and it does include pretty much the same release notes as far as FSD 14.3.5 versus 14.3.4. So not really any reason to go through any of these as far as I know. However, we did get a new feature, the camera preview. So even while you are driving or on FSD, you can go into the control service camera preview and actually see all of the cameras. So definitely planning on using that on some of the videos that I do. I do hear that it's kind of annoying to try to get it in there, and then like if you try to navigate, it immediately goes out, so you have to go back through all the menus to pull it back up again. So we'll see how much I actually want to use that, but it might be good for parking spaces and stuff like that, to just to see how well it did at a parking job. So we did recently go on a road trip, and the entire road trip, I actually got the update right before we went on that road trip. So it was able to be used the entire time. And I still, at least at this point, remain to have a 96% FSD usage out of over 5,000 miles. So pretty good. Obviously, I use it as much as I possibly can. However, I will say I have a decent amount of things, feedback from this recent road trip on things that still continue to be a problem for it. I want to start off with some of the negatives about it, so we can get in some of the better things obviously at the end. Just start with the bad, end with the good. But the things that I still continue to have struggles with is navigation. So navigation continues to be the most likely reason. Navigation and parking are the most often reasons why I will disengage. So I'll disengage because it's going a route that I don't want to go, or it is going a route that it's actually not supposed to go. So I know that it's not supposed to go a particular direction, and it chooses that that's the way it's going to go. It's mostly the map data, I think, because that's what it's following on the map on the car. Often if the road is closed or whatever, the car will, realize that. FSD will realize that and just take a different route. But the frustrating thing is sometimes well beforehand that a particular route is not going to work. So rather than letting it play out and go that whole route and determine that it needs to go a different way, I usually disengage up front because there's really no reason for it. And then I'll report it each time. So I am definitely not one to use the streak to try to get as high of a streak as I can. I want to report every situation where it does not do what I would like it to do or prefer it to do, because I need it to get better. And Tesla needs to know that the navigation and the map data are a problem for sure. So it was seeming like it was responding to the speed limits better at first on this trip. So on the way to Bryson City, North Carolina is where we went. It did seem like it was doing a better job of following the speed limits and responding to those speed limit signs quickly and getting to the appropriate speed. And I had pretty good luck with chill and standard, and those are pretty much the profiles I would use the most often. But there were a couple times where it didn't seem like it saw the sign, or it saw a sign that didn't exist, or adjusted the speed. And the interesting thing about having it in standard mode is that if I had noticed, if we had a vehicle behind us and we were in standard and we were going an inappropriate speed because it was way too slow, we were in a 55 mile per hour zone and the car was acting like it was a 45 mile per hour zone. So it was staying around 50 miles per hour in standard. When a truck came up behind us, it actually decided to speed up, which I guess is good in some sense, because it realized, oh, I guess I should be going faster. But at the same time, if it just so happens that these other cars are actually not going the appropriate speed, that they are actually in fact speeding. It seems like they actually have the ability to push the car to go faster, which, you know, if it's because it's not in the correct speed limit as far as FSD or the map data, um, and it gets up to the correct speed because of that car behind us, then that's good. But if it's just somebody that's, you know, speeding behind you, it shouldn't just go, you know, 15, 20 over just because somebody behind you is. That makes no sense. In fact, it could just be a cop. And I kind of wonder like what it would do if a cop pulled up behind you and it was going fast inappropriately. I mean, they have somewhere to go or whatever, but if it's, you know, 2-lane road or whatever, and you can't, there's no way to pass until there's actually a passing line, then the appropriate thing is not to just speed up to whatever speed they're going. The other thing I did notice, well, we'll get back to that in a second because that's a good thing. But the other thing I had is a few instances where it got really tripped up by a couple turns where it did look weird. Looked like the turn was not somewhere you should go, but when there was someone behind us, it would turn the wheel back and forth. It couldn't quite decide whether it should turn or not. It was the correct turn to take, and it was down a slope, and it feels very much like it's one way. I think technically it's two way. You can go either way, but I've always only gone one direction there, so I'm not really totally sure. There's no markings of whether it's one way or not. There's no yield or any really signage at all, not even a speed limit or anything. So it's really just kind of like a neighborhood street. But it got confused every time there was a car behind us. When there was the one time that there wasn't a car behind us, it hesitated just a bit, but then it went down no problem. So that to me is appropriate because I definitely would want to like slow and cautiously go over that turn, because the first time I did go there, I was not so sure this is where you're supposed to go. Didn't seem like a street you're supposed to take, but it is in fact the correct street. So that's you know, something interesting about it. Responds differently to cars behind you. If there's another car around behind you specifically, it tends to do things, behave differently than it would if there's not a car around, which in some instances I think that's a good thing. Obviously, if they're, you know, going to hit you or anything like that, that's good to respond to that. But if they're just behind you and you become indecisive about whether you should go a particular direction, or if you decide to speed up to whatever speed they're going, that's not necessarily a good response. So those are some of the negatives that I had. I also had a lot of situations where it just didn't park where I wanted it to park. It didn't get the location correct for the location. It would park, you know, at some totally different location, or it wouldn't park on the street, or it would park on the street when I wanted to park in the parking lot. Even though I selected those things, it just didn't seem to be responsive to a lot of the parking situations that I wanted to do. Now, the good things, obviously there's a lot of good things. I used it for, you know, I've still to this date have used it for 96% of all driving that we've done in the car. And that's a lot considering these disengagements I do for the navigation and the parking situations. So basically I'm using it all the time. It takes a ton of load off as far as the driving is considered. On a road trip, it is just so much more relaxing to use FSD. And getting back to that situation where there was somebody coming up from behind us on a 2-lane road, it's like there was a passing lane. So it was appropriately going the speed that I wanted it to go. And it was, I think because I had it in chill, is why it wasn't just speeding up in response to that car behind us. So I think that chill does take away that behavior of just speeding up to whatever it thinks is appropriate. It will, if you have it on chill, it seems to stay strict to that 2 miles per hour or whatever over the speed limit. So that's good, because it's a good option to have, especially if it does have the speed limit correct. If it doesn't have it correct, then obviously that's problematic. But in this situation, this car came up behind us. They wanted to go way faster than us, and we were going the appropriate speed, and I didn't really want to speed up. We got a passing situation, so they were going to pass us, As soon as the truck went to the side of us, the car immediately slowed down and allowed that truck to pass us much easier than they would have otherwise, because they would have had to, speed up a lot faster because they need to make sure that they get over in time before any other oncoming cars are coming. So that was a very impressive human-like response, the way you're supposed to drive. If somebody is trying to pass you, you definitely need to slow down and let them pass you. And it did exactly that. It slowed down about 10 miles per hour, in fact, let the truck pass us. They actually had a trailer too, so I mean, they needed a decent amount of room and didn't need to stress out. I mean, they were the ones that made the choice to pass us because they wanted to go way over the speed limit. But still, you need to give them plenty of room. And FSD did exactly what it should have done in that situation and made it much easier for that truck to pass us. As soon as they got past us and they were in front of us, then the car went right back up to the chill speed that it had. I was very impressed with this maneuver. I thought it was incredible, and I mean, I was actually kind of shocked. So there was also many situations where it was very good at avoiding obstructions on the road or debris in the road. There were some just trash in the road. There was a gas can in the road. All these things it saw very far off and responded to very quickly. There was also a ton of situations where there were people in the street. There's pedestrians. They were, you couldn't tell whether they wanted to go across the street or not. FSD was very quick to respond to and appropriately tell if they were actually intending to walk across the street or not, and did that very nicely. So I was very impressed with all the interactions with pedestrians and all of that situation. I guess there's one more thing that I should say is a little bit of a negative, is that there is still a situation where it threw up red hands and made me take over. So it was not considered a disengagement that counted against the streak, because the car, FSD, said that it needed you to take control immediately. But the situation was, it was raining very, very hard. It was so hard that, I mean, the car had already slowed down very appropriately to a reasonable speed, but it was just raining so hard that you couldn't really see very well. I mean, I could see enough to drive, but obviously I was in a situation where I would be wanting to drive, as slow as it was driving, but the car gave up. So FSD gave up. And instead of pulling over, like putting the hazard lights and pulling over and stopping, and I guess it can't do that because it couldn't tell where it was going. It just said take over immediately. It started slowing down and it put the hazards on, but it was not pulling over. And so there was a vehicle behind us, and so I needed to take over. And it was a little bit of a confusing situation because I was like, well, I don't need to slow down this quickly because there is a car behind us. And if we're not getting over, I mean, that's actually pretty dangerous, because at least I think that they could see us, but in that situation, you're not so sure how well they can see you or how much you're slowing down because of how much rain was going on in that situation. So what I did is I pressed the accelerator to make sure that we weren't slowing down too much, and it continued to say take over, take over, take over. And what I had to do to take over was, instead of hit the brake, I actually turned the steering wheel, which turning the steering wheel hard enough to get out of that situation might be sort of a dangerous situation. But it worked out fine. I disengaged. It didn't take my streak away, which I don't really understand why, because in my opinion, it should definitely take a streak away. I mean, I feel like it's just this situation where people are trying to get the biggest streak they can without doing the disengagements. But all of those disengagements, and hopefully where it throws up red hands, hopefully that reports right back to Tesla, because it didn't even give me the ability to report that as a disengagement. So I couldn't report back that, this gave me the red hands, and I was not, I had to take control. So hopefully that reports every time that situation occurs. Hopefully that reports back to Tesla and they see that. But that's one situation where in very heavy rain, it's going to have to appropriately get off to the side of the road, slow down, and stop. It can't just say take over. Obviously, if it's going to be unsupervised, nobody's going to be there to take over. So that was a situation where I wasn't so impressed with it. I think that it should have a different response there. Again, I think that it should have put the hazard lights on just like it said. Hey, and then we need to take over immediately, or, we're, going to get off to the side of the road and slow down. There was a shoulder there and everything, so there's plenty of room to get over. But again, maybe it can't see that. I don't know. And if it can't see that in that situation, I think that's a big problem. Although I don't think that's actually the case, because I think the side repeaters could definitely see the side cameras, the front, the front bumper cam, all those different cameras. I do think that it should have been able to see the lane line and that there was road there. It just no longer felt safe going that speed. And again, I think that's fine. I think a lot of other people, actually, there was other people that actually pulled off to the side of the road. Other people that had their hazard lights on and stuff like that. So definitely not an inappropriate response, but it is inappropriate to just basically slow down and stop in the middle of the road. So I'm not really sure what it would have done, because I didn't let it play out. But one thing that they're definitely going to have to work on, especially for unsupervised in that situation. So anyway, overall, FSD 14.3.5 seems to be a very good version. I've had a lot of experience with it now, about 440 miles with FSD 14.3.5. I like it a lot, and I plan to do some of my regular testing with it, so stay tuned for those. But just wanted to give basically my first impressions of this new software update and what it's looking like, and we'll take it to like the same streets that I'm used to, so I can give it an actual fair comparison to what the previous versions of FSD have done in those same situations. So that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.